Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're listening to That Infernal Noise, now part of the Mental Health News Radio Network.
Devil, not no more for these, you call me Ichigo. Now I let my aura grow as I pull my Zanpakuto. Let me introduce you, his name is Angetsu. Well, he will only live if and when we let you. Been through a lot of things, killed oh so many hollows. Didn't know at first which path was the right to follow. I don't fight cause I want to win, I fight cause I have to. I will take my spirit energy and aim it right back at you. Fighting a nigga be Yakuya taught me a lot of things, like how to channel and harness all my hate and rage in the form of a bankai. I don't understand why I'm the only one fighting, all the others stand by. I'm not such a saint to promise that I'll risk my life for strangers. Neither am I scum enough to sit back while they're in danger. Everyone looking at me like I'm a superhero, like this is the Matrix and I'm playing Neo. But I'll see my duty through. What the fuck else would I do? Just let it all rot or leave it up to Udi. You a fuck all that now, cause I'm the one in full control. That is until the hollow takes control over my soul. I'm a fucking anime kid. 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 And if you don't like it, shut the motherfucker up.
So, I know that we're always trying to grow and change and be better people and to be better parents and partners and just human beings. And sometimes that can be difficult.
That's putting it fucking mildly.
I didn't want to say challenging.
It's challenging.
Yeah. But it's difficult, and it's it's hard not to get impatient, and it's hard not to just want things to be at a different place, which
I still get impatient, and you have to talk me off the ledge all the fucking time with that. Because I feel like with where I am in the journey, quote unquote, whatever the fuck, that I should be above getting irritated by dumb motherfuckers.
and I see why you're saying that, or where that's coming from, but I think I've said...
The problem is, my job has me around dumb motherfuckers sometimes.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair. And I mean, mine too. It's just, not necessarily people I work with.
It's just life in general. Like, I'm not throwing my coworkers under the bus, because that's not what it is necessarily. But it just, you have to deal with it. Like, driving. I'm so triggered driving all the time now.
That's why I offer to drive.
I know, but I don't want to make you drive every fucking weekend. You know what I mean? You already drive more than I do right now because the kids are out of school, so I don't have to fucking drive anywhere.
That's fair. That's fair. But with all the things that we get frustrated with, and we not necessarily complain, but lament with each other, about work or life in general, that, it's, especially for me, it's easy to lose sight of what we already have. Not that we don't appreciate it. Not that we
You just take it for granted like anything else.
We get comfortable and we're wanting...
It's the complacency, and you just don't think about the shit that you already do have.
Yes, and while we are not where we want to be,
we're light years ahead of where we were.
Exactly.
And that's the part that I try to focus on more so than not.
I try to as well. It's just, sometimes it's just so overwhelming and so frustrating. Or it's just like, why can't it be blah, blah, blah?
Well, that's what I said the other day. It was like, whenever I was editing shit, it's just like, I wish that we weren't at this point right now, that we were past this point where everything was familiar and, I guess, easier.
Yes.
Instead of fucking struggle special bus. Either way, it makes
I
sense.
like struggle bus special because it's like, ooh, like.
No, I know, but we should be on the special bus sometimes. I'm sure Kaylee would agree with me because
Probably.
she rolls her eyes at me more than any person has ever done in their entire life.
Yeah.
And then she makes the same fucking jokes, and then I don't get it. Anyway, the joys of parenting a teenage girl.
Joys of parenting, period.
She's got a lot more attitude than Chris did. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just she has a lot more. Chris is so much more easygoing whenever it comes to shit.
He really is.
But Kaylee is the one that, no.
No, you don't want to fuck around and find out with her. At all, ever. She'll hurt your feelings.
Oh, she's hurt my feelings. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm almost fucking 40, and she hurts my feelings on a semi-regular basis. I'm like, God damn, I thought it was funny.
You are funny. I think you're funny, and I don't give a shit what the kids say.
That feels worse, somehow.
Like, oh, my mom thinks I'm cool.
Yeah, no.
Okay, then I'm confused on what I need to do here as a
I
good
wasn't
partner.
expecting that reaction.
But I do think you are funny.
That's weird.
Well, I do think you're funny. So, there's that.
Well, I hope so, because I'm not going to fucking stop even if you didn't think I was funny, so...
Fair. That's fair.
You should be grateful.
I don't want to be grateful.
You're welcome. I need to stop looking at my phone.
Yeah, Mr.
I can't help it. It's a force of habit because the boy was texting me off and on because he showed me like a little drawing that he did. He did a Ninja Turtle. Then he was being a kid again and like wanting to show off. So I was talking to him about it.
Well, that's cool. And things like that, I am grateful for. The fact
Saturday
yeah.
was a perfect example of that. Like that was the first time that all four of our kids, Patty was there, and we did what we normally did. You know, it was just all of us sitting around talking, laughing. We went to lunch, like all that. It was really,
a lot of fun.
It was really fucking cool. And I was like, I told him that helped recharge my batteries. And like my batteries have been so drained for so fucking long, and getting to see the four of them, and it was all shit talk.
Oh.
But I mean, it's just that's the way we are, and like it feels complete whenever he's in the house too.
I agree.
And that's not taking anything away from the other three. It's just we had the four of them for so fucking long.
And then it's a little over a year that Chris has been out of the house. So it's very...
And I'm grateful that he's happy and that he's growing and learning on his own, and nobody's having to like coddle him or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody's taking care of him per se.
Right.
He's taking care of himself. And he's doing well.
Yes.
As well as a fucking 19, almost 20-year-old can do right now. Like he's way ahead of where the fuck I was at his age. I already had a fucking kid at his age.
Fair.
Like,
or one was...
Well, one was on the way. Yeah.
He was cooking.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just, I do understand because, you know, I miss him all the time.
You miss the shit talk, which is so, and the fucking annoying sounds, and that's the part that gets me because you were so fucking irritable with that shit.
I still get irritated with it. Like if we're all hanging out and I hear a noise a certain amount of times, then it's like, shut your face.
Yeah, but you don't like
noise.
Not having the noise either.
I know.
Because the house is quieter without him, and it has been for the past year.
It has.
And
it has.
Noe and Kaylee and Logan pick up their slack in their own ways, but they're still not.
They still don't, a missing person.
Yeah, like they don't have the same energy that Chris does.
Right.
And it's funny to watch that dynamic.
And the thing is that we're gonna have to get used to this because
it's not gonna be too long before we only have two in the fucking house.
Yeah.
You think it's quiet fucking now? Jesus,
then,
Kaylee's gone, and it's just Noe and Logan, the two that could give a fuck less about anybody else being in the house. They do their own thing anyway.
They are completely content.
And they're what's the word? Why did I just fucking blank? God.
And so
damn
did I. They're
short
self-sufficient.
term-
They're very
Yeah,
independent.
self-sufficient. Jesus Christ. But, I mean, Noe does their own thing the entire fucking time. Logan comes out occasionally whenever he needs affection and reassurance, and then just fucks off.
Or when he hears something he wants to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because he's nosy.
Because he's nosy as fuck. I wonder where he got that from.
I have no idea.
Thank you for admitting that without saying anything. But yeah, it's like we're gonna have to get used to this one way or the other, and like we're pretty fucking lucky that we've had all this time with the kids, that we've been able to, I guess, give them the ability to feel comfortable and just be themselves around us. Because that wasn't always the case. Like they did walk on eggshells for a very long time because of somebody's temper.
Yes, somebody's.
It was yours.
Sure.
Your mean cuss. Your wicked stepmother or some shit.
I sure am.
How come they never showed dads like me and all that shit? Outside of like Al Bundy. And even then, I'm not really like Al Bundy either.
It's easier to demonize a non-biological parent.
That's true. Because they like thinking about it, like in the fairy tales, it's always like the wicked stepmother and shit, or the evil stepfather because the dad died as a hero, and then the stepdad comes in and is a piece of shit or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I had that fear though, that I thought it was gonna be viewed as that, and I would hope.
Well, you didn't do anything to be that, so why would you think that?
Because also in media, movies, TV, blah, 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 sometimes there is a step parent and the biological children don't.
Yeah, but see, I think that's learned. I think that's learned in the aspect that the other parent is saying shit. I have nothing to base that off of because in my experience that hasn't happened. You know what I mean? Like, we don't talk shit about the other parents in front of the kids and vice versa.
See, but
we get our shit out. No, I mean before, whenever we weren't getting along. Like, we had our opinions, and you and I would talk about it, and Mandy and Gabriel would talk about it amongst themselves, but we would never push that on the kids. And I think that's probably where that comes from. That you hear the other parent or parents talking shit about whoever it is, and that's what demonizes the whatever parent they're talking about.
Right. But we got really lucky with the other set of parents as well, and
because even when we weren't getting along, we didn't do that.
Right. But luckily, now we'll just talk shit to their face.
And they'll talk shit to ours.
Yes.
It makes it very entertaining.
And easier. Just so much easier. So
my favorite thing is watching the look that we get whenever all four of us are hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, oh, y'all friends just hanging out? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's, I mean, and that
or like
is
whenever
true.
we had to explain it to Gabriel's friends. Just seeing that, oh, that's different. Because
explaining it to a stand-up comedian while they're on stage was the best.
And then them having nothing for it.
Nothing.
That made it so much funnier because they talk shit for a living.
And there was just
nothing. It was just, oh, fuck.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, that is a Jerry Springer episode, and move the fuck on.
Yeah. I got nothing for you. But I am grateful for that as well.
Because we've seen firsthand a lot of horror stories.
Yeah, and
with biological parents or step parents or what the fuck ever.
Right.
Some in our own, some we have witnessed secondhand, I shall say.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking because you're not caring about that kid.
Yes. The one who's causing the shit doesn't care.
Obviously.
But
because you can only do so much as the stable parent, you know?
Right. And I do enjoy the fact that I do have things to look at and point at and be like, look, I'm grateful for this, especially with like the other parents, because I've told our story to people who
don't have that, and their minds are just fucking
yeah,
blown.
or
That's how it is with me too. It's like I've told people that I work with who have split families like that, and they're just like, I don't know how the fuck you do that. I've only met one other person in my entire like working life that had the same kind of thing. One. That's it. Where they go on vacations together, you know, they're having dinner together on a regular basis, hang out on the weekends, that type of shit. Like, there's only been one.
yeah, I can't think of anybody either.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that wasn't until this job.
Right.
Because it was B. Because she had the same kind of thing. She had 2 kids with her ex, and then he got remarried, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're still cool. She like babysits his other kids and shit, and which is what Mandy and Gabriel do. Whenever we want to go out, they watch Logan too. It's like,
yes, it is. I am grateful for them. I'm grateful for the relationship we have with them, especially in that aspect, because I don't have relatives that I speak to. Mm-hmm. So I know.
And
that,
I'd much rather the kids just be together. So if it's their weekend and they have Kaylee and Noe, it just makes more sense for me for them all to be together. Because they're all used to it, you know?
Right. I know that we would rather have, not saying that we don't trust your family members, it's just that they've had, they have grown children.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's my whole thing. It's just like nah, dude. And it's not even that serious. It's just I'd much rather have the kids together.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just what it boils down to.
That's fair.
I don't want to like that was the whole point of us making sure we had all 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is like so they would all be together, even though we had Logan and Chris, Kaylee, and Noe were me and Mandy's kids. Well, I mean, they're all 4 of our kids.
Yes.
It's just biologically is what I mean.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we wanted that. Like, I didn't want them growing up separate. The thought never entered my mind to have Chris, Kaylee, and Noe, or any variation thereof, with Mandy while the others were with us. That didn't make sense to me.
Especially while they were in school. I mean, it's different now because
Chris is older. He's graduated, all that stuff. That I'm not talking about, but I meant like during the school life. Of like, no, everybody's gonna fucking suck it up until y'all graduate, and then whatever.
Luckily, there hasn't been a lot to. Oh,
yeah. But I just mean in general, like, because you hear that all the time. Like, we're gonna go live with mom. Not us, but I mean like the trope or whatever.
Yes.
And our kids have never done that.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right.
I think that's partly because of the relationship we have with the other parents. That it's not like, oh, they're going to go. Like during the week, yes, I understand that it's harder to see, like to hang out with everybody. But like on the weekends that aren't ours or aren't theirs, we'll still hang out with each other. So
well, not recently, but
it's been
hellacious, and we're trying to get all of this up and running, and like our minds are so many different places right now. It's just like, everybody calm down. We're spending vacation together at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody's looking forward to it.
Cannot.
Because whenever I was talking to Gabriel, he said the same thing. He's like, dude, I can't fucking wait.
Cannot wait. Cannot.
And whenever I text Sis the other day, she was like, I so need this.
That seems to be the general consensus of, we need to get the fuck up out of here, at least for a little bit. And that's why, I've told coworkers, I was like,
don't fuck with me.
You'll catch my voicemail all day, every day.
And then you'll get a response when I get back.
Luckily, when it comes to work stuff, if I'm out, no one messes with me. No one tries
That's
to
the
get
same with me. Like, nobody really messes with me. It has to be like a fucking legit emergency for them to be like, hey, what's going on with this?
Sorry, I'm
Well, there's no legit emergencies. So,
Oh, that's
like
fair.
right now, I mean.
That's fair. That's fair. But when it comes to not being able to find that, like, just on a bad day, like, I know I've had quite a few bad days within the past couple weeks. And for me, this is for me personally, obviously. I am currently having a hard time stopping and being like, okay,
You just gotta stop and smell the roses sometimes, dude.
we have a
That's where that
home.
term comes from.
Right. Like, okay, obviously we have the bare minimums. We have a place to live. We have water. We
We have
have
way more than the fucking bare minimum.
Right. I was just doing layers, though. Like, obviously, we have the bare minimums. We have our food, our water, our clothes, blah, blah, blah. All of our utilities are on. You know, we've worked on a relationship, and we've worked on a family dynamic that makes me so comforted to just come home. And I want to be
Where home is peace instead of, oh, I gotta walk into this shit show now.
Yeah, it's
The fucking sitcom trope where just
Yeah.
like they're dreading coming home and shit.
Right.
Like, I never understood why you would want that.
wow. I mean, it happens
Even though I do think our life is a sitcom at times.
sometimes.
Because, like, the one-liners and shit that the kids give is like, you motherfucker. Like, are we fucking being Truman Showed right now? Like, what the fuck is going on?
We are.
Sorry.
We are.
Because I think I said that. Who did I say? I think I said it to Noe. I just looked at them and I was just like, are we in a fucking sitcom and I'm not aware of it?
Yes.
And, of course, Noe being dry as fuck just looked at me like, probably. Like, you motherfucker. Like, you're not helping my existential crises.
That's fair. But it's been harder for me lately. Because there's so many other things I want to do. There's so many other places I want to be in life.
And I think that is all stemming from the healing thing. We've spent so much time in the past decade plus getting rid of all of the shit that doesn't serve us. That now
And we've done a lot of hardcore work in the past
hardcore
in the
work
past couple years.
Yeah.
We've done hardcore work.
And we don't have a tolerance for bullshit or shit that doesn't speak to us anymore. It's
Make
like
us
we're
feel
seeing.
good.
I hate saying this because it's so overused, but everybody's like seeing through the matrix now.
Yeah.
Or that's what we're doing at least.
I agree. And I realized something because I am having a difficult time, and it's nothing personal to anyone or the company or nothing like that. But at work, it's like,
You realize the drudgery of it that goes into a 9 to 5.
it is. And it's not like I started last month or anything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been a little chunk of time. And my thing is, we still have kids in school. They're like, our time is not growing longer. Like, it's not like
It
we're
seems
gaining
like
more
everything's
time.
fucking speeding up.
Yeah, because just thinking about it, it's like Logan's 10. Mm-hmm. We have 8 more years until he's a high school graduate. 8 years. 8 years. We've been together for 12 years.
We've been in this house for fucking
9? Oh, no. I'm sorry.
8.
8. Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like that we've been here that long.
No.
So it's just like, well, fuck, that 8 years is going to fly the fuck by.
Yeah. So, on top of that, I realized earlier why I'm having such a hard time. I have a customer service based role. And I'm tired of fighting. I am.
I didn't think about it, but I mean
thought of it.
that's how it is
I'm
in life.
tired
You got tired of fighting, and that's
fighting.
what has been the impetus for all the change.
I'm tired of
Arguing with people and fucking babysitting and like trying to make everybody happy. Like, you got your binky, motherfucker. No,
and I've done that my
entire
whole
life.
life.
It's like, what do they call it? The good girl syndrome.
Something like that.
where you're constantly trying to people please
Yeah.
and all of that shit because you had a less than stellar parent who made you
yeah.
have to you had to prioritize their mood as opposed to looking out for yourself.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right. And I don't know how much more I have in me to go back and forth and to justify my reasons. And there's the dog, one of the dogs. You know, I don't have it in me. I don't have a lot left in me to justify why I'm doing something or justify why I haven't done something yet or why or I don't have a whole lot left in me. I don't.
And that's understandable. I mean, you've given to other people your entire life, and now
And I know that people
you're
would,
starting to take care of yourself, and you realize I don't have it for everybody else now.
I don't.
And if you had been putting that effort towards yourself this whole time,
I could be in a completely different spot.
and it wouldn't feel like this necessarily.
Incredibly accurate. It's just, it's just, so I am having to like try extra hard to look for, not that it's hard to find something to be grateful
No,
for.
but to be cognizant of it
It is
and focus on that
trying.
as opposed to the drudgery aspect of
Yeah.
it.
It is very,
I wonder if that picked up. It'd be funny as shit.
I hope so. That'd be great. Our dog yawned. If you can't, if it didn't pick up, our dog yawned.
Well, I'm going to cut it out regardless. I just think it'd be funny to hear it.
Well, then you can cut this out too. She just said, "What's up, bitches?" And it is just very trying right now. Just very.
Very in flux, you feel like,
It's draining.
yeah, because you know what you want to do.
Roundabout.
You know what I mean? Like you want
Yeah.
to be more creative and more like in that space as opposed to
I want to
the
be able
corporate bullshit.
Right. I want to be able to make money from home so I can be home. Not so I don't have to do, or so I don't have to do work because it's all going to be work.
It's work no matter what.
But,
Like this is work. Like we have to put in effort to do this
Right.
shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's just very.
It's very disheartening whenever
It
you
is.
get to that realization. It's like
Because I have to wake up tomorrow.
and
I
go
have
to
to get
work.
ready.
Yeah, it's like it's just what it is.
I have to put on my face. And I say that kind of jokingly, but it's
not a
at the
joke.
same
It's like you
time.
have to get your mindset ready for it. That's
Right.
what you mean by it.
And
It's
I
like,
don't want a life where I have to get myself ready in that.
where you have to talk yourself into
Yeah.
getting the day going.
Like, I don't mind taking a shower, get my clothes, getting ready in that aspect. But when it comes to the mental aspect of,
preparing yourself for
I
the
have
shit
to-
storm.
yeah,
Yeah.
of, okay, I know I took, yesterday off. I know that I have a whole day's worth of work, maybe, to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
And then that throws off my whole week.
Well, it's not going to help that you're starting it on Wednesday instead of Monday.
Yeah. But it is very disheartening and it's taxing physically for me at least, because I know that there's people who, well, people in general that stress big amounts of stress start showing themselves in a physical manner.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's what the majority of your ailments are, to be completely honest.
oh yeah,
Like your back pain and shit like that.
luckily after my surgeries
They did cut back a lot.
a lot, and you know how much pain I used to be in, and I'm still in a lot of pain, but that's neither here nor there. But like the headaches I get all day every day, because my headaches start 9:00.
Why do
in the
you
morning.
think they have that turn of phrase? Like, oh, you're a fucking headache. Because it causes physical ailment. Like,
Yeah.
dealing with bullshit causes that. Like, luckily, there's not that much that bothers me like that anymore. And that's been a goddamn journey in and of itself.
But you have been in the same field of work for
20 years. Well, it'll be 20 years in October.
you know? So that, and I'm not sure if your physical ailments from stress and trauma started
Manifest the same way.
well, that
even.
and started as young as I was. So I don't know for sure.
I would think it'd be pretty close. I'm not positive, but mine manifested outwardly. Yours manifested inwardly.
Oh, yeah.
I was the act out one. I was the one that started using drugs a lot younger, started drinking a lot younger, smoking, all that shit. I did that a lot younger than most fucking people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not proud of it. And that's why I was like, I had already tapered off my drinking whenever I got into my 20s, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, you did not understand who the fuck you were dealing with before that. Like, I was a freshman going to school drunk. Like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
Yeah.
And the fact that my body's in as good a condition as it is, because I'm the oldest out of the four of us, and my body's falling apart the least. And I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Yeah, because I have tried to be. I have. I have been put in positions of being everything to someone.
Everything to everybody sometimes.
Well, that too. But I like that started
At a young
and
age.
really, really young. So like on like a muscular level, like you feel how hard my shoulders are. I don't work out. I don't train these.
It ain't because you're training traps.
I'm not doing the shrugs. I'm not. I mean, I do shrug, but like, I'm not trying to build these some bitches up, and they are.
You do
solid.
shrug a lot. Maybe that's what it is.
It's not.
Oh.
You know it's not. You know goddamn well it's not. You know,
That'd be funny as shit, though.
That would
Like,
be
if you just
hilarious.
figured out how to stop shrugging, and then everything's like, oh, some bitch.
I really like this.
Oh, shit.
No, but like these are solid. Mm-hmm. I've been told.
They have been as long as I've known you, too. It's not like this is a new development.
Yeah, no. And then before I met you, I knew somebody who was trying to be a massage therapist, and she said, working on you is like working on a frozen turkey. That's not good. And I was younger then, and that's before the stress of having a family and then having kids and raising people and then worrying about if you're doing a good enough job there or if you're doing this or doing that or whatever.
The adult responsibility
Right.
part, yeah.
And I am sitting at a desk for 8 hours. I can't get up and walk. I have to stay stationary. And when I get home, it's okay. Well, I gotta cook dinner. I gotta make sure that certain things are done, which is fine. That's part of my life. I get that. And then,
But luckily now it's really just that part of it.
Yeah.
Like the cooking dinner aspect of it, as opposed to, okay, I cooked dinner. Okay, kids got to get in and out of the shower. Did you get your homework done? Da, 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 da. You don't have to do all that, luckily. And I've been trying to like take certain shit off of your plate.
and it has been amazing. And then now that, like,
Because I'm lucky enough to work from home. So
Yes.
I can get up and I can like help recharge my batteries during the day. So by the time you get home, I can focus on other shit.
right. And you are an immense help when it comes to, especially getting the kids ready for bed, ready for the next day, things like that. So, and because
I'm a lot nicer waking them up. I think that's why they like me waking them up more than you.
probably, and I'm not mean, just the one that you saw the other day.
But Kaylee and Noe have both said that shit too. Or just
okay.
like, Dad's so much nicer when he wakes me up.
That's because you leave lights off. I don't.
I give them an opportunity. That's what I do. Because because on our
That's fair.
side of the house, I turn on the hallway light and I go, wake up Logan. I'm like, all right, it's time to get up, bud. He's the one that gives us the most problems usually. On the other side, I flip that hallway light on and it goes into Kaylee and Noe's room. So I give them an opportunity. And if they don't get up, that's when I flip on the fucking light. So I think that's what they mean. Like, you don't automatically
Agreed.
blind us.
Mama doesn't give a shit.
I just know that I'd wake up pissed off if somebody just flipped on the light in my room.
I don't get that luxury. I don't get someone waking me up and saying, "Okay, it's time to get up." I don't get that. I haven't gotten that in well over a decade.
I do that.
On the daily? No.
Well, I don't have to on the daily. You get up before I do.
I'm,
And you don't have to wake me up. My alarm wakes me up.
and I'm a freak of nature, apparently, because everyone I tell this little tidbit is like, "How do you do that?" Oh,
I think a fly landed on her, so she freaked out.
yeah. I only have one alarm set,
Yeah, that's all I have too.
and people are like, "That's your first alarm?"
Yeah, because I know that if I leave a safety net,
Going right back.
that
to
I'm just going to go sleep until the last one. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then there's a better chance that I'm not going to get up for the last one. So one alarm, I know it's my alarm. I have to get up.
Yeah.
That's my mindset with it, at least.
So
And I wake you up very nicely whenever I wake you up from naps and shit.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying in the morning when it's time to get up and get ready, it's time to get up and get ready. Move it. Move your asses.
I ain't got to do that. It doesn't take me near as long to get ready as you.
That's fair.
It doesn't take me near as long to get ready as anybody else in this fucking house.
That's fair. But going back to what because of all of the physical signs of anxiety and stress and all of that, and because they've been happening for over 30 years, my body is tired all the time. So when I get home,
You want to be lethargic.
I want to be able to sit down, and I know people would look at it and be like, okay, well, you get home at 5:15, 5:20.
5:30, yeah, depending
on if I have to stop at the store or whatever. So let's just say 5:30. Just to give myself some time to get home and put my stuff away or this and that. People are like, oh, well, you get home at 5:30, you start cooking, you're done by this time, da 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 da. You know, people could look at our schedule and find time for me to exercise and stretch and to try to work on my body and my strength. And
everybody's acting like that's cookie cutter, and it's not, because of all the stress and all of the bullshit that you have put your body through historically.
Right. So by the end of the night, by the end of dinner, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, by the end of the time that I am done cooking dinner, if I'm cooking that night, how often am I like, by the end of it, like my back is killing me. I'm tired. I just want to sit. Most of the time, by the time I get around to serving my plate, I'm already like not hungry. I'm tired. That happened the other day, and it's just like,
it happens almost every day. Just about.
So to anyone who would be like, oh, well, do 30 minutes, blah, blah. No. I'm an adult. I know I have choices to make. And at night, I'm tired. I want to sit. I want to spend time with my family.
Who you already feel like you don't get enough time with.
I don't. And then
that makes the time you do get to spend sometimes not as
it's kind of bittersweet.
Valuable. Yeah.
It's bittersweet. Like today is bittersweet for me. Because I know my alarm's going to go off at 7 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning.
Some people would give you shit for that too. They're like, oh, 7 o'clock.
Well, I know I could wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get sweaty in the morning. No, I value sleep. Sleep is good for my body. So I am still making a good decision, just not decisions that
I think
somebody else
sleep
would
is the
make.
most important thing. For like,
Especially
fuck
for me.
working out and all that shit. And like, yes, that does work for some people. For me, what has really made me feel better and healthier
A good
is a
sleep.
good fucking minimum of 7 hours sleep.
And that's pushing it. That's like, 7?
That I
Oh,
can get away with 7 and not feel any type of way the next day. And the intermittent fasting, like, I know that doesn't work for everybody,
because it doesn't work for me, and you know
but
that.
for some reason, like this time, because it didn't work for me initially either. I plateaued quick. Ow. I plateaued quick the last time I tried to do it, and now for some reason it's sticking. I don't know why, but the weight loss has been consistent week to week, and it's just like, okay, there's something here. And I have been more active, i.e. getting up and
Moving
walking
around.
and getting 1,000 steps an hour kind of thing instead of the 250, and it's working for me.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not, I don't expect that to be a fucking cure-all for everybody else, though.
Right.
You know, it's like that works for me, and even that didn't work for me before the mental shit was handled.
Right.
Or in the process of it or whatever. So... And that's why I don't judge whenever it comes to you and tell you, well, you just do this, just do that. Like, no, figure it out. And not that I don't want to help you. It's just,
no, because if
I don't know what's going to work for you.
Yeah, because I know if I came to you and I said, hey, do you have any suggestions about
I got
XYZ?
suggestions for fucking everything.
Yeah, I know that you would give me, hey, well, why don't you try this? Okay, well, you've already tried blah, blah, blah. Well, how about this way or that way? Or this works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but you can try. So I know it's not that. It's just, I know that I need to, when you say that I need to figure it out, that I need
It's
to
not
listen to
a,
my
I
body.
don't care.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to listen to my body. It's not like if you were helping me stretch my shoulder and you just stretched it all the way. It'd be like, no, it doesn't go that way. I have to figure out what my limitations are.
And that's what I literally do. That is like, I push and I tell you do it.
Yes.
Like, I'll hold it steady. You push however much you need to push because I don't want to fucking break your shit.
Right. And
same principle, I think.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree. Because I know that while, yes, I am figuring things out on my own, I know that I'm not alone. And I know that sounds weird, and I know
No, it doesn't. To me, it makes perfect sense because I can't remember when it was, but I was basically telling you the other day, it's like, it's nice to not, like, I had a fake ego for so long, and it's nice to actually have a belief in myself. That's not just like me having like that false bravado or what the fuck ever. It's like, I actually believe in myself, and that didn't happen until you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, and I believe that, and you've given me that, so I'm trying to kind of like give that back and be like a support, because I know it's not easy for you to ask for help in the first fucking place.
It really isn't.
And it's just like, no, you have to be able to. Like, if you don't trust me, who the fuck are you going to trust? You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Yeah, because while I do trust myself in most situations,
you can't trust yourself in certain situations.
Yeah. Because...
And I know that, and that's why but I feel the same way about myself. There's certain situations where it's just like, is this a good idea? And you're like, that's not a good idea. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. And I was going to do it anyway, but not going to do it now.
Yeah. It's very much, am I the problem
no.
Am I the cause of this?
And we've had those conversations so many times. Like, did I fuck this up? I'm like, no, you didn't fuck that one up. Okay, cool.
You're like, oh, am I tripping in this situation? Yes, you are.
Thank you for finally asking.
All right. So I know I have support. I just know that there are certain things that I need to do on my own, or I'm the only one that is going to be able.
Because I can't
know.
feel the results. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I could tell you, do this, do that. This is what's helped me, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not seeing positive results from that same thing, ultimately it's pointless for me to say anything.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yes, I know that I can come to you with questions or if I need support in figuring things out about what works for me.
And I'd like to think I've given you enough space to grow to where you could feel like you can do that, I guess. Like you have permission to do it or whatever.
I know I have the room to do so.
Yeah, that sounds way better than what I said. Because I know what I mean by it.
I know
I just sound like a sexist fucking asshole. I mean, sometimes I'm a sexist fucking asshole. Don't get me wrong.
Not
but,
seriously, though.
Well, no, never seriously. I do love making sexist jokes. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
That's sad.
Okay, you're not seeing it from my perspective. And watching you and Kaylee, who don't sell shit, get viscerally irritated because of simple phrases. And it's the same phrase, and I'm not going to do it to you right now.
I appreciate you.
But Kaylee has the exact same reaction.
It is so hard. It is so hard to just...
Like, no, don't say anything. Don't say that you say anything. He's going to keep going. Fucking stop.
See, but I've noticed recently that the things that you're like, oh, well, if you don't give me a response, I'll stop. The ones that I've worked really hard to not respond to. You're like, what? You're not going to respond?
Yeah, because it defeats me. And I'm just like, fuck. All right. And I just sit there sullen for a minute and then move the fuck on.
But you don't.
Yes, I do.
You'll find a new and creative way to start picking.
Well, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
How about...
I've said it before and I say it again. If you didn't have me annoying you, your life would be fucking boring.
Agreed.
And you'd be bored.
Agreed.
So...
Agreed. So...
You're welcome.
Thank you. I can't. So... With... With having a support system... like you and the people we keep close. I know that I don't have to, especially with you, because I literally talk to you and see you every day, all day. Well, I talk to you all day.
I was about to say, yeah, you talk to me all day, for sure.
It is nice. While there are some sticking points for me in the aspect of being home and struggling emotionally and mentally
with just the daily bullshit.
At the job. It is really fun and it is really cool knowing that as soon as I get home, a laugh is right after.
I hate being fucking serious. I've always hated being serious.
And it's not forced. It's not fake. It's not like at work where I'm like, somebody tells a joke, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because if you give me a fake laugh, I'll like, all right, motherfucker. I was fucking around before. Now I'm gonna fucking try. Like, you think you gonna fucking not laugh at me, bitch? I got you.
I'll make you laugh when
you want to or not. I'll fucking laugh rape you.
Ew. Can you not say that again?
I like it.
I don't.
Laugh rape.
Ew. That's not...
It's like a mind fuck, except funny.
Except not.
Fucking your mind right now.
Ew.
Hope you're wearing a condom.
I got a dirty mind.
Remind me to tell you about a TikTok that I saw earlier.
I will. But so while I am in a difficult position or situation or place...
Mentality.
mentality. That's a good one. While I am there, and I do struggle throughout the 8 to
day,
5,
yeah.
it is really nice to come home and just be like, someone's about to say some funny shit.
Or some stupid shit or whatever.
Or I know that if I need to go sit and lock myself in the bathroom and just...
Literally nobody's going to stop you.
Nope.
Or bother you or what. Because you don't have that fucking trope that other moms do. Where
I
they're
get to
like,
shit in peace.
Yeah.
And I always have. Mm-hmm. Like, it's never been like, oh, I'm going to take the kids into the bathroom with me and that's a normal occurrence. No. If the door's closed...
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. And we try to do that with the kids as well. Like, if they're in the bathroom...
We're not just the bust-in type. Like, we knock on our kids' doors before we open them type shit. And I know some people would raise an eyebrow to that, but it's just like...
I want
the older I've gotten, the more I've realized they need their privacy too, so they feel comfortable in their own space.
Yeah,
because we were very much, you don't shut the door unless you're changing your clothes. You're not shutting the door for shit. Da da da. And now it's just like, why? Why did we do that initially? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Because we were raised by people who thought that
the same thing, basically. Yeah.
Closed doors means not good activities are happening behind those closed doors.
And in all fairness, in my teenage years, that's exactly what that meant. So
sometimes that's what it meant for me too.
But I'm going to throw Chris under the bus. He fixed me busting into people's rooms. That's all I'm going to say.
He did.
He
did. 1,000%
and
he did.
Ever since then, we're like, no, y'all can have your doors closed, and we'll give you at least a little knock before we just open the door.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with that bullshit no more.
Never, ever again. Never.
Or, well, my go-to initially with him.
Calling in his name around the corner.
Kane! And then you walk slowly so you can hear if he responds.
Just inch closer to the hallway. Just be like, are you okay? Are you decent?
That's why I'm glad, like, the Kaylee and Noe's rooms are built the way that they are, because they always have headphones in, and if they're getting dressed or something, and I knock and they don't hear it, I start opening the door. And then they can hear the door, but they can't hear me. So I think it's selective hearing, now that I think about it. Anyway,
that is
but
possible.
The way that their rooms are, they have the space where they can hide or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't open the door and immediately just everything open. You know what I mean?
They have like a little nook or whatever to not be visible.
It makes my life so much easier.
Yeah, it does. I know that eventually, at some point, things will be different. And not that things will magically be easier by any stretch.
We'll just have different fucking struggles. Yeah, that's all it is.
But I think that the back and forth of the corporate world, especially in the operations or customer service side of things,
that we are both in.
And I have done nothing but customer service jobs. Like, I don't have it in me anymore. And I mean, that makes me feel bad.
It shouldn't.
Well,
you see through the bullshit now, dude. Like, that's all it boils down to. It's, you understand that this should just be a means to an end. Because that company, and I'm not just saying your company in particular, I'm saying companies in general do not give a fuck about their employees. No. Because if you were to drop dead tomorrow,
they'd have someone in my
they'd
seat.
Be looking for somebody to replace you immediately. They're not mourning that the same way that your family would and shit like that. And that was the biggest thing that stuck in my head. Okay. It's just like watching, especially like through COVID and shit like that, and people just dropping, like, or the friends that we've had that have passed, it's just like the people that they worked with aren't here right now.
No.
At this funeral, at this rosary, or what the fuck ever. It's the people that they sacrifice time with for that job that are here right now.
And that's why I want to do something. I don't know what it is just yet.
But how are you ever going to find it if you don't? You know what I mean? And that's your big thing. It's like, I always try to do stuff, but I never da da da. And I'm just as guilty of it too.
Right.
So it's just like, well, you're never going to find it if you don't start a bunch of shit and then figure out what your thing is.
That's fair.
And that is what I'm focused on right now, because we had that conversation earlier last week now, but where it's just like, I've pretty much just tried whatever the fuck I wanted to my entire life.
Right.
I was like, I wanted to do music. So I was like, okay, fuck it. And I just started doing music. You know what I mean? Like, it was never super complicated to me in the aspect that, well, I could just fucking do it. You know?
I'm like the opposite of that, where I'm like, oh, I want to do this thing. Oh, wait, can I? I don't think so.
Does it matter? Take music specifically.
Yeah.
I've been around music my entire life.
Yeah.
I've been around underground hip hop in Dallas for
a good bit.
A good majority of my life now. And for every class and D and like all of them that
The
are
good
fucking
ones?
good,
Yeah.
there's 50 motherfuckers that suck, but they think they're good. And if that's the case and they have that confidence with zero fucking talent, what's stopping you? You know what I mean?
Fair.
It's like, because there's always going to be people better than you, no matter what.
Yeah.
So you can't compare it to that. But if you can see that you're better than these people, what the fuck have you got to lose? Because people are still paying attention to them.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck,
Fair.
I worked with some of them.
And
Call it like I see it.
And I know who you're talking about, too.
Oh, there's been several.
Oh, I know.
But it's just like, if other people have that confidence and they are completely undeserving of it, why can't you have confidence whenever you do deserve it? That's how I look at it. And I know that's a very Tony Robbins thing or whatever,
No,
but
it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not at the same time. Because you see talent in me in certain aspects of
I wouldn't lie to you either. And I know it's like, oh, you're biased, you're a husband. And like, if I thought something you were doing sucked, I'd fucking tell you.
Yeah, you would be nice enough to not say, "Hey, that fucking sucks."
Well, it depends on the mood that I'm in.
Okay, before all the work you've done, 100%.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, you would have hurt my
Because
feelings,
I realized
not on purpose, but you'd have hurt my feelings.
I realized that I was the asshole that was just like, oh, I'm just brutally honest. Like, you know, you can just be honest without the brutal part now, right? Like that means you have empathy, that you're being honest, but you're not hurting people's feelings. You don't have to hurt people's feelings to be honest. Like, oh, fuck. This is what I've been doing to people? This is horrible.
On TikTok, I saw something and it was like, oh, I match energies. It was like, no, you're
just a bitch.
An
Just a bitch. And that was what I did for the longest time. It's like, no, I'm not going to match people's energy anymore. I want people to match my energy. And I know that sounds like grandiose or egotistical or whatever. It's like, but
because you're like calm and like,
I'm
hey,
chill now. Like,
just
why? Why do we have to do all this shit? Why do we have to be at each other's throats? Like, just chill the fuck out. And I'll give anybody a chance to do that.
Right.
However, I also grew up in East Dallas with a bunch of fucking assholes. So there's a line.
That's fair. And
then that hood shit starts creeping back the fuck up. And you start hearing me say shit that could get me locked the fuck up. It's just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Agreed.
Like, I'm trying to protect you. Like, I'm not saying I'll whoop anybody's ass. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I'm going to fuck some shit up and go to jail.
That's fair. But, you know, I know that you would be honest with me. I know that you'd be like, hey, but maybe we should try something different. Or maybe,
Look at it this way, or do it this way, or what?
I don't know how
Constructive criticism or something.
if something actually sucked, I don't know how you would handle that. I don't think.
The same way I handle it with the kids. Be like, oh, baby, yeah, just keep practicing. Like, the only way you're going to get better is keep practicing. That's why I've said that. And I still say that to, like, Noe with their art. And the art's amazing.
So good.
But I still keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing. No matter what. Because that's all it is. Like, everything is just repetition. Nobody's good at anything the first time they fucking do it. Ever. And if somebody is, they're probably lying. You know what I mean? It's like you have to practice. You have to put in the time and get the reps with whatever the fuck it is in order to get good at it.
Right.
Like, you want to do writing and shit like that.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get better at writing is if you're constantly writing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's...
But part of that also goes into my free time I am choosing to spend with the family.
And I understand that too.
And I know that that'll shift.
Whenever it comes down to, as of right now, like we've talked about, like it's going to be uncomfortable for a while. You're going to lose out on time or whatever because of that. Because you have to in order to progress in this thing that you like.
Right.
And there's a fine line with it, obviously, because we've known a lot of motherfuckers that
becomes
like
everything
music or whatever, and it consumes them, and then they're missing literally everything in their kids' lives or what the fuck ever. And it breaks my heart to see that because I've known some of them and they're good fucking people. It's just they have to try to focus on two things at once, and inevitably one of them falls to the wayside. Unfortunately, more often than not, it is family shit, because how many people that we know that divorced, lost kids, like whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was very close for that happening to me. Luckily, I noticed it early enough because I was full bore and I like, this is what I want to do, music, da 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 da. And then I like started actually getting to know people and hearing their stories. It's like, I don't fucking want that. And I thought I did up until actually talking to them. You know what I mean?
And actually getting their side of
and seeing like how
is.
it affects them. It's like I couldn't fucking survive like that. I couldn't survive going out on the road and missing weekends. Like weekends are my favorite fucking thing with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing with you is like that's when you'd be out doing shows.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nah, I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah. That's
I'd rather take my kids to shows. You know what I mean?
And that's also why I hesitate right now to try to start comedy as well. Because we only have some of our kids. I mean, while we do have them primarily, we have them through the week. We both know that, especially with two working parents, during the week, that free time is
There's
bullshit.
no free time. Yeah, and that's
It's eating dinner together, especially like during school. It's eating dinner together, watching maybe like an hour or so of something together or doing something together. And then, okay, we have to get ready for bed. We have to do this. We have to do that, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And even with the summer, we get a couple more hours, but still doesn't change.
You and I are so fucking exhausted because we still have to fucking work. And they have more time, luckily. And they get that decompression time in between school ending and school starting.
Yeah.
But our day's pretty much the same, outside of the fact that we're not picking up and dropping off kids and doing whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So
I think that I really think that once a little more direction is presented, so I have
an idea of where to go.
Or at least start something, and if something grabs a little traction, or if there's something I can do in the meantime before something gets traction, I think mentally, and then mentally, I think I'll be a little bit better. And then once I fully can stay home again and work in some fashion from home or
whatever
it is, and I can have that little extra time to spend an hour stretching, which is what I personally would need to do at least twice a day. So 2 hours of just I don't need to stop. I don't need to have a conversation. I don't need to do the laundry, do the dishes, I don't have to do anything else for this hour except stretch my body.
Yeah.
And that's what I need. And I could thump on my trap over here, and I would be surprised if you couldn't hear it if I actually tried to. But getting there, the possibility of more, and I don't mean more financially or more stuff. I just mean more of life that I want to live.
Instead of the life we've been told our entire lives that we
Exactly.
have to live. Like, this is just what you do. Like, why?
But I don't want to just do this because unlike other people that may feel this way, I like being home. I like being around my family. I like being around you. I like being around the kids. Now, am I saying that no one ever irritates me? Fucking course not. Because I know I irritate people, and that's fine.
You don't really irritate me.
Oh, well.
I know I fucking irritate you, so you ain't got to play it off like I don't. I know, motherfucker. But it's very... I get pissed off at you, but, you don't do, irritable shit. Does that make sense?
And my irritation with you is not, serious irritation.
It's, fuck, why won't you just stop?
It's, oh my God, can you get your fingers out of my ass crack?
They're not literally in your ass crack, though.
It's still uncomfortable. Let me just gently place my hand in a karate chop motion.
It's not in a karate chop motion.
You have. But let me just place my fingers, just touch your ass crack, and just leave it there and not move.
Meanwhile, you go to sleep, and you like going to sleep like that.
You're
sending mixed signals.
Not with your hand on my ass crack.
Yeah, it is most of the time. It literally is. Because that's how I'm comfortable. Sorry, I like your butt.
Regardless, I thoroughly enjoy it.
I just think it's funny that all the TikToks coming out is just like, oh, that's not just me. That's literally every other guy. Cool. It makes me feel good. And insignificant at the same time, oddly enough.
Because it's my ass and my boobies are not here for you to just walk up and just be like, boop. No!
What the fuck do we get married for? I don't understand what's funny.
I mean, I can't with you. I don't know what needs to happen, and I don't know what other directions need to be traveled or taken, or...
You don't know until you get there.
I know.
It's see, that's the thing. Nobody maps out their life plan with any certainty. You can retroactively map it out. You see what I'm saying? You get to the thing,
no,
and then you can tell people how to get there, but you can't tell people how to get there while you're still getting there.
That's fair, but there are people who try to map out their lives.
No, and that understandably,
it never
but
works
how
out.
often does it work out? And those are the same people that if one thing goes sideways, that's it. They lose their shit.
Fair.
All we've been doing our entire lives is jumping from one foot to the fucking other.
We're dodging.
So it's no big deal to us. You know what I mean?
Serpentine.
But it's also created the inability to plan that far ahead. and to see the forest through the trees. You know, it's harder for people like us because of that, because we didn't have stability at different times in our lives.
But I also think for me, at least, it is harder for me to find things. I mean, just find things that I want to do or like to do, or because the vast majority of my things have been taking care of other people.
But see, what's the difference in taking care of other people and doing what we're doing now? Because that's how I associate it. Because
I can't pay bills with my kindness.
You don't pay bills taking care of the kids. You don't pay bills by giving them advice and trying to help them become better people. You're not getting paid for that. And that's what I've tried to get you to understand. Is like your purpose has to go beyond money. It can't be, you can't go into anything expecting to make a living off of it. You have to do it because it resonates with you, because it's making you happy to do it.
See, and I think that's where some of my conflict personally is because I have conflict in an area of my life and I want to just stay home and work on the things that are important to me. But
that doesn't pay the fucking bills.
That doesn't pay the fucking bills. So I have a hard time when it comes to finding things to do for a living, because the things I want to do for a living, I don't know how to turn those into
profitable,
lucrative avenues. So I don't have to work a 9 to 5. So I can have the freedom to, hey, I have to take my kids to the dentist or the doctor or whatever. Do I have PTO time
to do so?
Okay, if I do take that PTO time, how many other people am I inconveniencing?
Okay, you got to stop worrying about that shit. I'm not saying that precedent is not set by certain companies.
No, and I don't give a shit. I now no longer give a shit. Like yesterday, I took off. Do I care? No. I don't.
You shouldn't, because it's.
It's
the company's problem, and I hate saying it like that because it makes you seem like you don't care about your company, but it's true. It's like I have to take time for myself too, motherfuckers. Like you are not my life. You are my job. Like that's it. That's all it boils down to. There's no such thing as a career anymore, really. It doesn't seem like, because it's all for profit.
Right.
Nobody's doing shit that really speaks to them anymore, or that really like.
And
if everybody did shit that resonated with their soul, there'd be more people like Joe Rogan or Elon Musk, because you could tell that Elon Musk, what the fuck he's doing, that's exactly what he wants to do with his life. And that's what I mean. It's like people in our position, in our lot in life, just go along to get along. And I have never been that way. I do not like just going along to make motherfuckers happy. Never have.
That's all I've done.
And that's all I've done too, but I don't like it. You know, I've always been irritated by that I have to do that. And now I've gotten older and my give a fuck is out the window.
Yeah, and mine is the same, but
yours has been is going out of like a cracked window where it's just like seeping out slowly and you can feel it. You know what I mean? Mine just, I kicked the fucking door open and everything left at once.
Yeah. Mine is the more I have to deal with as I've gotten older.
You give a fuck.
Yeah. Because
you realize what's really important.
That's exactly it. But I've always had to be a people pleaser, and I didn't know that was an issue for the longest time. Whether it made me uncomfortable or not, I didn't. I thought I was just being the good person, and
I've said it to my boss. Being a good person has hindered me in my career.
So much.
Because if I was just an asshole,
Oh, you'd be.
I'd be the richest motherfucker in the goddamn industry.
Oh yeah.
And
Because you would have been.
It sucks to look at it and know that. Because you see the other people with those traits and you see how successful they are.
And how comfortable they are on the day-to-day.
Every single day.
Just
every single day. No matter what, they're not inconveniencing anybody.
I wonder what that's like.
I do, but I don't. Because I feel like it's that absolute power thing. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Of course.
That type of thing. And it's just like, I don't want to be like that. I've never wanted to be that profits drive me person. You know, it's like making money and working has just been a means to an end. It's so I can take care of my family. That doesn't mean it's me, but I made it me for so fucking long. I was a workaholic and I threw everything I could into it and da-da-da-da-da. And I had a monochrome of success that way, but how quickly did I burn myself out?
Incredibly.
And it's just like, and it was just like right after the other, you know, it was like I could never catch up energetically. Like I could never be happy because I was always chasing that thing that I thought I needed. Right. And it was complete bullshit.
And right now my thing is when do I make the switch? When do I find something like you? I don't know if I'm articulating this or if I'm going to articulate this correctly. When do I cut where I am now and move onto something that is a little more flexible so I can do the other things during normal business hours?
That is, I mean, it depends on what guru you talk to as to who, because some would say immediately, just if that's what you're feeling, then obviously it's not for you. But some would say that, like what we tell the kids,
you have to have something lined up.
Exactly. Before. And that's an unfortunate thing that has to happen in our society nowadays, because if you don't, you'll get fucked over very quickly, immediately, especially with inflation. Like just taking care of fucking weekly groceries is a motherfucker now. You know what I mean? It's just so you have to have something lined up. You have to have another income stream already coming in before you do something like that to certain people.
And that's also, sorry to like kind of just throw this in there too, but that's another reason why I want to be home. So with me coming home at 5:15, 5:30, 5 whatever, if I need an hour to prep food, that puts me at 6:30. And then cook time. So that's another reason. Like there's so many other reasons besides obviously just wanting to spend time with my family and be able to stay on top of the things I want to stay on top of, and
to feel like you're not falling behind in everything.
Yeah. And I do. And you know I do.
Yeah.
So that's where I am right now, but it's like I can't. I know I have to be responsible because
we're supposed to be responsible for whatever fucking reason.
And I'm really not trying to.
Like, I didn't agree to this shit.
I didn't agree to be born. This is bullshit. But, like.
We're all born into a game that we have to play that we didn't know we were playing to begin with.
Yeah. And, like, you try to, like, level up or make a different move and you fucking zero out, and it's like, oh, that's terrifying. I can't zero out right now because guess what? I got kids.
Or you get caught in a fucking glitch and it's just endless free fall.
And it's living the same day over
and over again.
And over and over. And I don't want to do that. I don't have it in me. I have lived the same day my whole life in some fashion. Whether it be growing up and trying to be an adult when I didn't need to be an adult,
Being forced to be an adult.
regulating someone else's emotions, just being involved in that kind of dynamic.
And then getting older and having to take care of the friend group
Well, yeah,
and
because
appeasing everybody in those situations.
right, and especially my story personally, I moved out when I was 19. I never moved back home. I would have done anything and everything
To prevent
to
that.
not go back home. So on top of taking care of people, moving out, taking care of yourself or trying to, but it's in that transitional phase of becoming, or from teen to adulthood to working and to paying bills. And so that happened really fast. And then it's just, I haven't had time to like just breathe.
You've never figured out you.
No.
That's
And it's hard.
and that's what I've been trying to tell you.
And it's hard to
through
do
all of
that
this.
while having to take care of everything else. And I'm
while
not
having to be an adult and
Yeah.
while having to keep a job and keep the house the way it is and
Right.
all the normal minutia that you have to
especially
do.
when you have children. But I know that eventually everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be in a pretty close position to where I would like things, and on a personal level, and then as for our family dynamic, and then in our marriage, I know that all of the steps that I am taking and the steps that I'm going to take are going to round that out better. And but getting there is difficult. But at the end of the day, I'm incredibly grateful for you, and I'm incredibly grateful for the kids, and I'm incredibly grateful for where we are,
As opposed to where we were.
as opposed to where we were, on multiple levels, financially, emotionally, mentally, of any dynamic in this house. And I really don't know what I would do without you guys. I think that I would have gone off the rails a long time ago.
Well, coincidentally, I'd be on rails, so
Yes, you would be. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that you would definitely still be doing that if,
shit hadn't gotten better.
yeah. But I just want to thank you for allowing me. And I say allow, and people are going to be like,
Fucking right.
what the fuck ever. But being the kind of partner where I do have that space to grow. And
No, no, please tell me more about me. That's
I
awesome.
suck a whole bag of them. Oh my god. But
I've always wanted to give you the room to grow because you've let me grow the way that I needed to. And it wasn't even a way that I knew I needed to at the time. It just, I knew I was where you are right now, where I know that there's something else. There's something missing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I need to do something to figure out myself so I can be happier just in life. And like, that's all I gave a shit about. And you gave me the ability to do that. You know, it was like every whim that I've had, like, yo, I want to do this, yo, I want to do that. Okay, cool. But it's like I've gotten to just do everything on a whim, basically. It's like I've wanted to do XYZ, and you're just like, okay. And it's like there was never any pushback. You know what I mean? Like, you just let me do what it was within reason, obviously. Like, you wouldn't, like, oh, I need to go find myself in Alaska. Like, you might want to chill the fuck out on that one. That type of shit.
Can we bring it back a bit?
But, like, doing this, doing whatever, and, like, you just been like, okay, like, what do we need to do? And that's it. And, like, so now it's, like, my turn. You know, it's like, what do you need? How can I help? Can I help? Do I just need to back the fuck off and let you figure it out? Like, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I really, really think that hopefully by this time next year, hopefully sooner than that, things will be different. And we are able to start leading a life that
we want to
we
live instead
want.
of we have to live.
Yeah, because we don't, at the end of the day, this is all we get. And the next day isn't promised, next month isn't promised, all that shit. So I really, really hope that the steps I'm taking and that you're taking are in some form or fashion somewhat the right route to take. Because I want to have a happy life with you. And I want us to be able to enjoy our happy life.
Instead of just going from one day to the next, repeating the same shit over and over again until we drop.
Yeah.
I agree.
But, and for everyone listening, just if something is not right, if something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't...
If it doesn't resonate with you.
If it doesn't make you happy. And I say that, and it doesn't need to hurt anyone else either. Your happiness doesn't need to hurt anybody. So...
Like, if your happiness is going to be that you need to fuck other people while you're in a committed relationship, maybe not be in a committed relationship.
Yeah, or if you want to...
And I say that as somebody that wasn't in a committed relationship.
Understand.
Harder.
But start taking those steps, even if it's little steps. And I know better than most that the small steps, they seem...
insurmountable whenever you start.
Because you don't see the little changes. You don't see the little bits falling into place. And I'm going to say this to anyone who's listening, but I'm also saying it to myself, that they will add up and things will change. And we will be in a spot
and
that is different.
Give yourself credit for where you are versus where you were.
Yeah.
Because you have a big problem with that. You don't give yourself credit for how far you have come because you're looking at what's to come.
Right. So it's just, thank you for helping me with that. I'm not going to be 100% every day, but I'm going to try. And, you know, everyone else just needs to try. Just, even if it's one small step a day. And
even if you fall back a couple of times,
just
get up and make another step. That's it.
Yeah. So, with that being said, everyone just try to live your happiest life. And if you don't like the way things are going, fucking change it.
Change it.
Peace out. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you like the show or know somebody who would, please subscribe and share to help us grow the show. You can follow us on all socials at thatinfernalnpc. You can listen on YouTube and Podbean at That Infernal Noise or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Please tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.